It was just another regular evening. I had left work a little late and was on my way home, thinking about what to cook for dinner. The road was mostly empty and the air was calm. Nothing seemed out of place until I noticed flashing lights in my rearview mirror. At first, I thought it was just a routine traffic stop. Maybe I had missed a signal or was speeding without realizing it. I pulled over calmly and waited for the officer to approach. When he got to my window, I rolled it down and greeted him politely. He didn't respond right away. He just looked at me with a strange expression, almost like he knew me personally. Then he said my full name. That caught me off guard. I nodded and asked if something was wrong. His reply wasn't what I expected. He said, "Step out of the car, we need to talk." Confused but cooperative, I stepped out of the car. He didn't handcuff me or ask for my license. Instead, he leaned in closer and said something I'll never forget. "I'm taking your car." "Your house and your wife?" I laughed nervously, thinking it was some kind of bizarre joke. But his expression didn't change. He was dead serious. My heart dropped. I asked him to explain himself. That's when he revealed everything. He said he'd been seeing my wife for over a year, that she had told him everything about our marriage, about our problems, our finances, even our private life. I stood there in shock, unable to believe what I was hearing. My wife with a cop? And not just any cop, this one was now threatening to ruin my life. Standing right in front of me in uniform, I asked him how long this had been going on. He said since the day she filed a false report on a break-in. That's when they first met, and things escalated from there. Apparently, their relationship had gone from flirtation to something much more serious. He told me she was with him that night, and that they had already planned to move in together. My home was now their house, my car, also hers now since it was registered under her name. I was stunned. I felt sick to my stomach. How could the woman I had loved and trusted betray me like this? And with a man who had the law on his side? I asked him what gave him the right to talk to me that way. He smirked and said, "The badge does. And your wife signed everything over to herself last week." That's when I realized just how deep this betrayal ran. My wife had been planning this for a while. She had legally moved assets, prepared papers, and now sent her boyfriend to deliver the final blow. He told me I could either walk away quietly or make a scene and risk going to jail. I knew if I reacted the wrong way, things could get worse. He had the power and clearly the motive to make my life miserable. I walked back to my car numb. He stopped me and said, "No, this isn't your car anymore. Walk home." I stared at him, unsure whether to cry or explode in rage. But I did neither. I started walking. Each step felt heavier than the last. My mind was spinning with anger, sadness, disbelief. I couldn't decide what hurt more, losing everything or being ambushed like this. I got home, or what used to be my home, and stood outside. The lights were on. Their shadows moved across the curtains. My wife was inside, with him. I didn't knock. I just stood there for a long time, staring at the place where I had built a life now no longer mine. Eventually, I turned and walked away. The next few days were a blur. I stayed at a friend's place. I tried to contact her, but she blocked me on everything. I called a lawyer, but he said without any proof of coercion or fraud. There wasn't much I could do. I felt humiliated, betrayed by the person I loved most, violated by someone who had taken advantage of both the law and my trust. But I wasn't going to give up. I started gathering evidence, texts, emails, call records. I went through bank statements, found inconsistencies, traced them back to her. With my lawyer's help, we uncovered enough to challenge her actions in court. The road was long and expensive, but I refused to let them win so easily. The officer was put under internal investigation when I filed a formal complaint. It turned out this wasn't the first time he'd crossed professional lines. My wife tried to defend him, but the damage was done. Their fairy tale turned into a legal nightmare. The truth began to crack their perfect story. Months later, I got some of my assets back. Not all, but enough to start rebuilding. The car was gone, the house was sold. But I had something far more valuable, my dignity and my will to fight back. I changed my number, moved to a new city, found a job. Slowly I began to heal. The betrayal still stung, but it no longer defined me. She tried to contact me once in email saying she regretted everything. I didn't reply. Some doors are better left shut forever. I've learned that the people you trust the most can sometimes be the ones who destroy you. But I've also learned that strength isn't about what you lose, it's about what you do next. And I chose to stand up, walk away from the wreckage, and build something better for myself. Because no one, not even a cop with a badge and a stolen wife, gets to write the end of my story, but me,